Good afternoon. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Michael Wright and Attorney John Grisham from Wright and Schulte Law Firm, as well as Attorney Ben Cooper and Attorney John Bond with Cooper Elliott Law Firm and Attorney Chris O'Neill. We have the honor of fighting and defending the life of Eric Cole. His family and friends are also present with us. His son, Talik Dennis, I keep saying Talik Cole. Talik Dennis is present here. His sister, Lakeisha Bennett. Bradford. And his grandmother, Miss Joyce Wilson.
Right here, and this is Regina Wilson and Joyce.
Okay, and so we have the whole family here. You'll hear from a few of them after the attorneys and the NAACP president, our strong, courageous leader here in Springfield, Illinois, Springfield, Ohio, is also going to address you, Ms. Denise Williams, President Williams. And right after President Williams, then you're going to hear from the people who can most speak for Eric Cole, and that is his family, the people who knew him best. And quite frankly, we're here braving the elements because Eric Cole's life mattered, and Eric Cole did not deserve to die like this. So we are announcing the filing of a lawsuit against the Springfield Police Department and the Clark County dispatchers for being a proximate cause of the death of Eric Cole. They were both reckless and willful in causing his death. At worst, this was a conspiracy to deceive, to not only deceive his family, his son, his minor children, but also the community, President Williams. At best, they were just reckless beyond all disbelief. But the family believes, and you'll hear it from them, they believe that the only reason the Springfield police finally told the truth, finally came clean, is because the coroner told the truth that Eric Cole had been ran over by the SUV. And that family was at the hospital. The family was on the scene. The police didn't tell them what happened. They kept trying to suggest that, well, we know he was shot. Well, you know what else they knew? That the police officer, her SUV ran over his body. And what was really disingenuous, what was really God-awful, what was really willful was the fact, Attorney Wright, that they did not tell the EMS officials that he had been ran over by a SUV. Can you imagine that SUV running over his body? The weight of that SUV crushing his insides? But they did not tell the family. They did not tell the EMS officials that that's what happened. And you will hear from them, they would have treated it much more differently. Common sense tells you. The gunshot wound, Attorney Cooper, was a survivable injury. It was non-life threatening. But if you tell me that he was ran over by SUV, you say, oh, that's life-threatening. Then we treat it more urgently. We treat it as an exigent situation. We treat it that, hold on, we got to try to save this man's life. But they didn't tell them that. They said he was shot. You notice what was really telling Attorney Wright and Attorney Cooper and all us discussed, that EMS officials went and amended their reports because they had never been told about the vehicle running over your brother's body. They had never been told that. How disingenuous for the police who are supposed to protect life, preserve life, not to tell the very people who could have helped save Eric's life that they ran over him. They just, it's heartbreaking when you think about it. As I look at his son, he said, my dad did not deserve to die like that. And he's right. He did not deserve to die like that. And to have some of his last words be the far too familiar proclamation of too many black men who die after having involvement with police. I can't breathe. George Floyd said, I can't breathe because he had a knee on his neck. Eric Cole said, I can't breathe because he had a police cruiser run over his body in the middle of the street in the dead of winter. You can only imagine the last moments of Eric Cole's life saying, I can't breathe in the freezing cold with a t-shirt with tire marks over his body. And that's why we're here fighting. And that's why we're filing this lawsuit, because we will get justice for Eric Cole. We will get justice for Eric Cole.
Yes.
We will get justice for Eric Cole.
Yes.
We will get justice for Eric Cole. We will get justice for Eric Cole.
Yes.
We will get justice for Eric Cole. We will get justice for Eric Cole.
Yes.
Thank you all for being here with this family so they're not by themselves. I'm going to have my great co-counsel who I fought with 2 years ago in the state of Ohio, in Columbus, when we fought to get justice for the family of Andre Hill, who regrettably, Lakeisha, was killed right around Christmas time as well. And we fought to get full justice for Andre Hill.
Absolutely.
Not just civil justice, but to have criminal accountability. So we will, President Williams, be talking to the Department of Justice about what happened, because they can't sweep Eric Cole's death under the rug.
Yes.
His life matters. Attorney Ben Cooper, Attorney John Bond, Attorney Mike Wright, we're going to dot every I. We're going to cross every T. We're going to make sure that everybody knows the truth of what happened to your father. They thought that it was going to be over with once they didn't tell anybody. They didn't tell you, Lakeisha, when you all were at the hospital. They didn't tell you, President Williams. They thought that it was going to be swept under the rug. Well, we're here to let them know they'll never be able to sweep Eric Cole under the rug.
Absolutely.
Attorney Mike Wright, a lawyer who in this state and around America has been fighting for the marginalized, the disenfranchised, those who don't have a voice.
Yep.
I'm very proud to be again fighting for innocence, fighting for dignity, fighting for respect for our people.
Absolutely.
Attorney Mike Wright.
Thank you, Attorney Crump. Just to briefly echo what Attorney Crump indicated, we are fighting for this family. The Springfield Police Department owes this family transparency. They can't continue to police if they're not trusted by the community. We absolutely have to shine a light of what happened in this situation so that this family will at some point have closure. Again, we're going to fight for this family, and we want to make sure that we hold the Springfield Police Department accountable for what occurred here. This shouldn't happen. This family should have been told what occurred with their family member so that he could have received the life-saving treatment that could have prevented him from expiring. So again, with Attorney Crump, with Attorney Cooper, with Attorney Gresham, we're going to fight. This is the community that I am from. We have to make sure that, again, there's transparency. You can't police if there's no trust.
Amen.
And I know that Springfield is looking for a new police chief, and we want to make sure that that is someone that's going to lead this department in a manner that is transparent and that the community can rely on. So with that, I'll step aside.
Thank you, Attorney Wright. It is so important about transparency. The reason we're out here having to file this lawsuit is because we have to hold them accountable. We can't take their word for it anymore because they didn't tell the family, Attorney Cooper, that they ran over them when they had every opportunity to do so. There was nothing stopping them from coming to tell you all at the hospital what really happened, but they didn't do that. And so that's why we have to sue them to get to the truth. Attorney Ben Cooper and Attorney John Byrne are great lawyers who are going to be on the front line, both in the court of law and the court of public opinion, making the case, knowing that Eric Cole deserved better than what happened to him. In June, we in cold December now, but it was in June when this happened to him. And they know this community, they know this state, and we're very fortunate, Attorney Wright and the family, to have another Ben fighting on the team with us, Attorney Ben Cooper. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Attorney Crump. And my name is Ben Cooper. I'm a partner at the law firm Cooper Elliott. We are honored to represent this family. We're honored to represent Eric's family. It's been 18 months since this happened. This family is still seeking answers, still seeking accountability, still seeking justice. And that's why we filed this lawsuit just this morning. I want to emphasize 2 points. The first, no one deserves to die like this. No one deserves to die like this. Eric had called 911 for help. He told the 911 dispatchers, "I'm in the middle of the street." The responding police officer ran him over and killed him. When she ran him over, it fractured 10 of his ribs. It fractured his sternum. It peeled the skin off of him. It damaged his lungs so that blood started filling his cavity. Blood filled his chest cavity, and he told the medics, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe." He kept saying that. No one deserves to die like this.
My Lord.
The second thing I want to emphasize is about the cover-up. You've heard about the cover-up. Springfield Police and Clark County dispatchers knew that a Springfield police officer had run over Eric Cole. Officer Rosales knew that. The officer trailing just behind her saw it with his own eyes. Eric himself told the 911 dispatchers he was still on the phone. He said, "The police just hit me." Supervisors in the police department were on the scene shortly after it happened. Springfield Police and Clark County dispatchers knew about this right after it happened. They hid the truth. This happened on a Sunday night. The family asked what had happened. They said, "He's been shot." They did not say he had been run over by a police cruiser. They hid the truth Sunday night. They hid the truth Monday morning. They hid the truth Monday evening. They finally told the family Tuesday morning what had actually happened. They hid the truth from responding medics. Springfield Police hid the truth from responding medics. And it shocked EMS so much that 5 different medics went in and altered and amended their report after it happened to say, "We didn't know about this."
Wow.
We have the EMS report. You can see that for yourself. The other thing we have is an email. This happened Sunday night. Eric Cole was run over Sunday night. We have an email from Monday morning from Sergeant Osborne, who was a sergeant in charge at the time, to Chief Graff and Captain Mike Krantz. Sergeant Osborne writes, after speaking with you, in other words, Chief Graff and Captain Krantz, I advised the Montgomery County Coroner's Office that Eric was possibly struck by a vehicle at some point. I did not indicate at all that it was a cruiser that did so. Why did the police mislead the coroner's office? Why did the police hide the truth? This family has a lot of questions. This community has a lot of questions. The community, and especially Eric's family, deserve the truth. So this family needs answers. This family deserves accountability. This family deserves justice, and they deserve it quickly. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for illuminating a lot of the stuff that the public does not know. And President Williams, the reason why I'm going to send a letter to the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division is because it is clear it wasn't the gunshot wound to the shoulder that killed Eric Cole. It was the cover-up that led to Eric Cole's death. It was the cover-up of them being deceitful, them not being transparent, them not being truthful. That's what killed Eric Cole. And we cannot let them get away with it. I understand from Lakeisha, they're saying that nothing has happened. They believe the officer is back at work. It's almost as if Eric didn't matter at all. Well, Eric did matter. And that's why we are going to get some accountability. The cover-up, in many ways, was far worse than the gunshot to the shoulder. It was the cover-up that killed him. And so a woman of integrity who has been fighting for respect for the community and citizens like Eric is the appropriate person to address you all at this time and let you know from the civil rights community here in Springfield why they are so upset and angry and frustrated. It is because they thought they had a better sense of communications with the Springfield Police Department, but this reminded them again that we have a lot more fighting to do. And a woman who's always ready for the fight, President Williams of the Springfield NAACP. Thank you.
Greetings everybody. Thank you, Attorney Crump, to my dear friend, Attorney Wright. Justice must be served. 18 months and no answer.
Yes, ma'am.
18 months and no justice.
Yes, ma'am.
We are not that city. What happened? Now here it is, it done brought it all back up again. But let me tell you something so I can be clear. When it's a situation like this that requires attorneys, NAACP do like this. Now we're partners, but the attorneys come out in front, you understand? So I wanted to clear that up because the community and the family didn't know what you gonna do. Well, this is what I'm gonna do. I called him first. Now look at us. Justice will be served in our community. We will not live like this. 18 months and no answer. Today we need an answer. I couldn't get the answer, so here we go. All right? We got 2 powerful attorneys, 3, 4, 5 standing around. Family, Cole, justice will be what? Served. Justice will be served. All right. And I just want y'all to know, y'all haven't seen me because I'm right here. The attorneys come out front. I'm here whatever they need me to be here. You understand that? So we got some powerful folks standing around me. Justice will be served. Thank you.
Thank you, President Williams.
Yes, sir.
God bless you for your leadership.
Yes, thank you.
And before we bring the family members and ask have you ask your questions. I just want to reiterate that they didn't ask for this. It's going to be emotional. They're going to do the best they can. Imagine if this was your loved one killed like this. You know, I just applaud them for being able to stand here and try to make sense and talk to you, because it makes no sense at all. I mean, think about if this was your father, or if this was your brother, and they tried to cover it up. What would you be saying? So first you're going to hear from his son, Talik, who was 18 years old when this happened, and he's trying to stand strong for his family. And he's doing the best he can. Talik, I know you didn't really want to talk, but do just say whatever you feel is on your heart. And his mother and family are here with him.
I just feel my dad didn't deserve to die this way. And that's it. Like, it should never went the way it did. It should never been covered up. Yeah, and that's just how I feel.
Talik, can you spell your name for us so we can get that correct first and last?
T-A-L-I-E-K.
What's your last name?
Dennis.
Thank you, Talik. And thank you very much for just being here to speak up for your father. And then the final person from his family you're going to hear from is his sister, his little sister, Lakeisha, who has been screaming out since this happened to say justice for Eric Cole. Well, Lakeisha, I want you to know that you're not by yourself. You got the whole community and all these lawyers, all these civil rights leaders standing with you. So you keep singing to the choir, and we got some more choir members to say that Eric life matters. Lakeisha will speak to you.
Hi. Me and my whole family just want justice. You know, I feel like we had a lot of family out there that they could have told what happened, and I feel like if Eric could have got the medics there, you know what I mean, and told what was going on, he'll probably still be here this day.
Yeah, they could have.
You know, but instead they covered it up. You know, my mom was out there, my cousins was out there. I had plenty of family out there with him to let them know what was going on. It took them almost 48 hours to let my mom and my cousin them know what was going on with my brother. So I feel like my family and me, we all fought for him because I feel like he would have fought for us. So we just want justice for him, all of us, my whole family, his son and kids, and everybody. And I thank everybody for fighting with us, me and my family, Ben and Michael and everybody.
And we're going to keep fighting for him. Justice for Eric Cole.
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 We're going to keep fighting, Lakeisha.
Thank you.
We're going to keep fighting. We will get to the truth of the matter. Right now, we'll take your questions. Obviously, the family will try to answer if they can. If not, the attorneys, Attorney Wright and Attorney Cooper and I, we will try to give you the answers that we can answer today.
Lakeisha, could we ask you, for the family, emotionally, what was it like to lose Eric, but then also to get to this point of having to file a wrongful death lawsuit?
All of us are still grieving in our own way. Like, I have my days. It was hard, you know, like,
They want you to talk a little
we
louder.
lost him in a bad way, you know, there was other things that happened, but I feel like if we could have got some help for him, he would still be here. So it bothered us the way he was killed. You know, we watched him be ran over on TV.
My Lord.
So
And what's it like for you all emotionally today to get to the point of filing this lawsuit, this wrongful death lawsuit?
emotionally, I don't even know.
you can only imagine the feeling of the family thinking that if they just would have told the truth, that Eric might have been saved. That is the agonizing feeling that he could still be here. If the police just would have did their job, if they would have did what they would have expected everybody here to do, just tell the truth. Especially tell the truth to the emergency responders. Tell them the truth, but you too worried about yourself and not worried about the life of this man who you just ran over to tell the truth. Now, if that's not criminal, I don't know what is. If you wouldn't have told the truth, they would charge you with a crime. But when they don't tell the truth, nothing happens to them. And what you said, that y'all been told she's back at work?
Yes, she is.
And Mr. Crump, if I could ask you, you mentioned you have or you will reach out to the DOJ.
Yeah,
what
because
will you be
the
asking
cover
them?
up.
So what will you be asking them for? A review of this instance or of the department as a whole?
Well, normally you ask them to look into a matter, and then they, under their own discretion, will look at this incident, and they will look at other patterns and practices of what might have happened, whether there are patterns and practices of implicit bias or excessive force or cover-up. And what Attorney Cooper and Attorney Wright have expressed to me over and over again is that the family believes this was a cover-up because they did not come clean until the coroner issued his report. If the coroner wouldn't have told the truth, would they have ever told this family the truth?
And just to be clear, have you already reached out to the DOJ, or that's something you still have to do?
No, we'll send that letter. Actually, we notified them when we first were retained that Eric Cole was killed, and this is something that they should review. Now we're going to formally request them to review it in writing.
Thank you.
And Attorney Crump, you've represented a lot of high-profile cases. What made you want to take this on? Do you think there are any strong similarities between the other cases you represented and this one?
There are many similarities that made me say we had to be here for Eric Cole. When I get the opportunity to work with Attorney Mike Wright and good lawyers like Attorney Ben Cooper, I always hearken to it because I know it's a team effort to get justice. But to answer your question directly, like my personal hero, Thurgood Marshall, he would take cases that shock the conscience. Well, the cover-up leading to the death of Eric Cole shocks the conscience. It shocks my conscience, and I think when this goes out across America today, it's going to shock America's conscience that the police were less than truthful without being fully transparent, as Attorney Wright said, telling this family, but more importantly, telling the emergency responders what happened. Why is it, as Attorney Cooper said, that these 5 emergency responders went and did something you rarely see? They went and amended their reports saying that we were not told that he was ran over. I can only imagine what they're going to say they would have done differently had they been told that he was ran over by a police SUV. I bet you they wouldn't have just treated it as a superficial gunshot wound. And so that's what we expect DOJ to look at, but that's the reason. It shocks the conscience. And when it shocks the conscience, you can't sit idly by as if nothing matters. He matters. Her brother matters. His father matters. Her son matters. He's a son not only to his mother, but to this community. So we all have to stand up to the Springfield leadership and say you're better than this.
And it's been more than a year
Is there
since
any
the
idea
incident.
of whether or
Why?
not an internal investigation took place outside of the Springfield Police Department?
Say that question again.
To the best of your knowledge, was there ever an external investigation?
Being a Mike.
Yeah,
there was a special prosecutor appointed.
What I'm referring to is anybody outside the Springfield Police Department. Typically, they don't investigate themselves.
Yeah, the Ohio State Highway Patrol investigated the criminal aspect of this case. Ultimately, there were no criminal charges presented against anyone involved, and that's why we felt it's been necessary to pursue civil justice. If there can't be criminal justice, this family is the only avenue left for this family to get answers and accountability is by filing this civil lawsuit.
It's been more than a year since the incident.
Let me just add this one thing, if I could. You know, with Breonna Taylor, the local and state prosecutors did nothing. But when the Department of Justice under Attorney General Merrick Garland reviewed the facts, they said this is shocking. And we have to say that it's equal justice for everybody, whether black, white, brown, or red. And so I am optimistic that when they see this, they'll at least say this shocks the conscience. And that whoever made the decisions to not tell EMS what really happened should have some liability, some culpability, some accountability. And that's the hope. So we haven't given up yet on there being some criminal element to say that you can't have him die like this and everybody says there's no blood on our hands. Well, Springfield Police Department, you have blood on your hands. You have Eric Cole blood on your hands. And until you do right, that blood will not be wiped away.
And it's been more than a year since the incident. Why now file the lawsuit?
Well, I think justice delayed is justice denied. We now have gotten the reports back from the state investigation. So one thing that happens a lot of times is you don't get all the information until they make a decision on their investigation. I'm sure President Williams has been through a lot of these things. They stall, they delay, and then they finally say, we made our conclusion, we're not going to charge the officer. Then Attorney Cooper and Attorney Wright were able to get the report. And then we were able to see the essential facts that are germane to filing this lawsuit, to making sure everybody can see the cover up. But make no mistake about it, this shouldn't have been a hard investigation. It shouldn't have taken very long. You had a video. You don't need to say no more. Just look at the video. And that told you everything you needed to see. But the reason why we're coming forward now with the lawsuit is we finally have the investigative notes from the investigating agencies.
And I know in this lawsuit that you guys have named the dispatchers. Any word on if they're still employed by the county?
Our understanding is that they're still employed. Yes.
Our understanding is nobody has had any accountability. I don't even know if anybody's been disciplined. Okay, imagine that. Your family member is killed, they cover it up, they are caught covering it up, but yet nobody has been disciplined.
Yeah, with the 911 dispatchers, it's my understanding that Clark County actually did investigate and look into whether there was any wrongdoing by the dispatchers. And Clark County concluded that there was not. And this family vehemently disagrees with that because there was wrongdoing. Eric Cole told the dispatchers, I'm in the middle of the street. And neither dispatcher relayed that information over the radio to the police. And if they had done so, he wouldn't have been run over, he wouldn't have been killed.
And I've been told that Officer Rosales is back on the job. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
I've been told that Officer Rosales is back on the job. What's your thoughts on that?
I have a thought on that.
Come here. You're the niece?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Get this out your way here. Go ahead.
I'm Eric Cole's niece, China Wilson. I actually had an incident at my house, I want to say maybe in September, and I had called the police to come out there, and the officer that arrived to my house was Amanda Rosales. So in that situation, it hurt me. I was already angry, but when I seen her still on the streets, it bothered me. Like, why does she still have her job? Why has she not been held accountable for the things that she have did? She seen the hurt in my eyes when I told her who I was. I'm Eric's niece, and I'm going to fight to the day I can't fight no more. My family's hurting, and we're not going to give up. And this ain't even about no money. This is about justice. She's walking free, and he's gone. He was killed. He called for help. My grandmother, my mom, his kids, his brothers, my uncles, we all hurting, and we're all here together, and we're not going to give up, and justice will be served.
Justice for Eric Cole.
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 Thank you all. We'll continue to update you. We will get you copies of the lawsuit. We can email them to you if you email press@bencrump.com, and Attorney Cooper and Attorney Wright. We will continue to update you all every step of the way, because if we don't know if the truth will ever get out. So on behalf of the family, thank you all for covering this important matter, because Eric's life matters.